Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. This is John from Cloud Tech Insights. Today's discussion, we'll be talking about AWS reInvent 2023, the keynote from Adam Selpsky. This session is going to be a mix of summarizing some analysis and look at some of the strategies AWS is using to differentiate itself from the cloud competitors. In this session, we'll also be diving into the key announcements. We'll all be talking about what these developments and announcement means to the development community in general. We'll also be exploring some of the strategic directions AWS is taking. It's not just about the new products and services, right? It's also to understand the vision behind these moves, or at least the guess the vision behind these moves. How is AWS positioning itself? What are the implications to the businesses, developers who are going to make architectural decisions based on these announcements? And of course, we'll discuss the overall impact for customers. Whether you are small startup, enterprise, or just tech enthusiast, these announcements have implications. So stay tuned as we unpack all of this. If you are excited about the session, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you are new here, subscribe to stay updated. Let's get started. So in this summary and analysis video, I'm going to be using a technique called mind mapping. This technique really helps me understand complex problems, some of the discussions. So we can use that technique to dissect what the keynote says, what the strategic moves behind those keynotes. So let's start with the first announcement, which is the Graviton 4. So let's start from here, AWS Graviton 4. So Adam made a significant announcement unveiling Graviton 4. This isn't just any product release. It's a big deal because of it symbolizes AWS long-term vision. AWS has been focused on in-house silicon development for quite some time, starting from around 2018, and Graviton marks the latest and perhaps the most impressive milestone in this journey. So as we expand our mind map, we will see how in-house silicon development is a key differentiator in the market. As of now, Amazon is, to my understanding, Amazon is the only cloud provider in the space who develops their own silicon. And it's not, again, it's a key differentiator when it comes to cost, lack of dependency, etc. It's more than just a new processor. It's a symbol of AWS commitment towards innovation. A lot of AWS customers are moving their ARM-compatible workloads to Graviton-based processors. I've seen analytical workloads, microservices workload, compute workloads being moved. Reason behind is Graviton in general offers superb price to performance ratio, especially compared to the traditional x86 architecture. Why is this move important? So it's a strategic move made by AWS that started in around 2018, focused on developing in-house chips. And AWS is not alone in the market developing in-house chips. The companies like Apple, Tesla, even Google have developed their own processors, all chasing for better price to performance ratio for their specific needs. So one key factor is AWS trying to be a market differentiator. This means that there is no other cloud platforms offering in-house silicon for their customer workload. At least that's what I know of. With a better price to performance ratio, reduce the cost of AWS workloads for the customers, thereby attracting more startups, more enterprises, and more technology enthusiasts into the ecosystem. Of course, with the recent chip shortage, we can definitely, AWS is trying to reduce the dependencies on the supply chain. That's probably another reason why they are moving in this direction. Let's quickly talk more about the Graviton processor, especially the Graviton 4. AWS mentioned that they have 30% better compute compared to their predecessors. 75% more memory, which means you can do in-memory analytics, especially Spark, Pandas, and a lot of the caching, the processes or workloads that requires more caching definitely can use more memory. and definitely more 50% more cores, which means you can divide for distributed computing. This makes more sense. More the core means you can divide more the work into more distributed fashion. Moving on to our next big topic of the announcement is the Amazon S3 Express One Zone. This is a real game changer in the storage as well as data and analytics space, especially around big data. Amazon S3 Express Zone is not just an incremental update, it's a significant leap. For those who are working in big data space in petabytes or terabytes range, this is huge. The new development allows you to faster retrieval of data from the S3 zone. So, which means it is 10 times faster than the S3 standard zone. And imagine if you have a data lake built on Apache Delta, Apache Iceberg, or Apache Hoodie. With S3 Express Zone, services like Athena can query data much faster than the regular standard zone. So this is a real game changer. This is critical for data and analytics, especially around big data. The faster data retrieval means better insights or quicker insights and more efficient processing and more streamlined workflows. So this will be appealing for customers who are in the big data range, especially evaluating options on data lake, concerned about the performance. This is really a game changer for them. So some of the other features are definitely you can use for analytical use cases. Like I discussed, Athena would be much faster, able to retrieve data. Storage will be much faster. The IOPS cost goes down. So the other areas where Amazon S3 Express One Zone can be helpful is around the data lake use cases. So Amazon has been providing guidances around how to build the robust data lake on some of the open source framework like Apache Iceberg, Apache Hoodie, and Apache Delta. So these formats provide the customers with ACID compliant, which means some of the absurd deletes is possible in the S3 location, thereby reducing the cost significantly. Which comes to our other feature is to reduce the cost of analytics, especially when the data is stored on S3 and accessed via Athena. Athena can quickly access the data, so reducing the overall cost of analytics. So one of the strategic moves that AWS has been focusing in the last couple of years is around data management, especially around the metadata management. I want to say AWS in the I would say the last decade reduced the cost of the big data analytics in terabytes range, petabytes range. It has significantly reduced. Now big data analytics is much more affordable. And then comes the data lake management. They have made significant strides around the data lake management area, where they have provided several blogs, information on how to set up a robust data lake, and provided enough guidance and have significantly improved the analytics of the big and the huge data. Then comes the data governance space. So this is where it started with AWS Glue catalog, where it started cataloging all the information in the S3 data lake or S3 location. And then came the AWS Lake Formation, which really helped to add an access control layer, which is very compliant with some of the GDPR and CCPA regulations and many more. So that's another area where AWS is improving. And then there's the latest announcement in this reinvent is around the data zone, which we will talk about soon. Definitely AWS puts a significant emphasis on data privacy and compliance. So like I mentioned, the lake formation, some of those features in lake formation are really helping customers to implement those regulations like GDPR, CCPA, CPA. There are many more regulations that lake formation is capable of handling. Definitely, as the reduced storage cost by Amazon S3 Express One would definitely attract more startups, which has like gigabytes, terabytes, or petabytes of data. Definitely, that's a significant improvement where they're looking for extra funding and keep the storage budget within their funding needs. Moving on to the next significant announcement around the data management space is the Amazon Data Zone, which is already available, but there are some enhanced features around Amazon Data Zone. One of the key announcements were around the unified access management, which means it is one of the tool to access all the data across Amazon, especially with the data lake, also with Amazon Redshift, and there are some on-prem as well as third-party integrations as well, so that you can use one zone, the data zone, for all the cataloging and access management purposes. So this is a significant improvement, which means if you have multiple vendors within your data lake architecture, you instead of having two separate catalogs, you can use one catalog to access all the information and provide all the access to the right users. They also announced the integration with Amazon Redshift, which is significant, which complements the data lake with a low latency query options. Then, especially it's used currently being used around the data sharing aspect, where the data can be published and subscribed using a more of a business friendly URL. And then comes the cataloging part, which it's inheriting some of the cataloging capabilities from Glue and Lake Formation. And then one of the announcements during the reInvent was the Gen AI capabilities for the business catalog, which means you can generate some of those business cataloging data dictionary using Gen AI application, so which takes away significant work from the development or data stewards in general. So let's explore another strategic move by AWS, which is gaining a lot of attention, which is the zero ETL approach. This was mentioned by Adam last year. It's basically a methodology where you can quickly move from a transactional system like an RDS to Amazon Redshift for your ad hoc or reporting needs. This is basically to accelerate those migration process. So those traditional migrations from RDS to Redshift involves like schema conversion, building those pipelines, building those incremental load, initial loads. So some of these zero ETL approaches accelerates those processes, which making it more seamless. So one of the key features of zero ETL approach is speed up transactional to analytical migration, which we already discussed. This would enable AWS to increase the Amazon Redshift adoption for both ad hoc as well as the exploratory as well as reporting needs, which is a good approach. And also, there are some customers who wants to focus more on their business than technology. Some customers who does not have the resources or the team to maintain some of these pipelines. Of those customers, it would really benefit by adopting a zero ETL. I would say at this point it's evolving and it is getting there. And I will talk about some of the announcements around zero ETL. So some of the announcements around zero ETL are the integration of Amazon Postgres QL Aurora to Amazon Redshift, then Amazon RDS MySQL to Redshift, and then a non-relational database, which is the DynamoDB to Redshift. These are the three main announcements for the zero ETL. So in few clicks, you'll be able to move the data from these databases to Amazon Redshift for your ad hoc or exploratory analysis, as well as regular reports. Announcement, I would say most interesting announcement from AWS in the field of generative AI, which is the introduction of Amazon Q. So this is something that is generating quite a buzz, and for good reasons. Amazon Q is AWS innovative tool that allows users to build their own private chatbots. So it's something that enterprises or any company can leverage, use their own documents, emails, notes, diagrams, etc. And then you can ask questions using a chatbot. So it's more like a virtual assistant, information gathering options. There are a couple of ways you can leverage Q. So I would say, like I said, private ChatGPT for enterprises. To keep it simple, none of the data is used for training the model, and data is secure within the VPC. And then Q can also be used to build applications around it. And there are around 40 data sources, including structured data as one of those data sources, where they can connect and ask the RDS tables, questions on the data set that they have. And then it's also integrated as part of QuickSight for better visualization, as well as Amazon Connect, making the life of a customer care representative much easier. I've provided a detailed instruction on how to build applications on Amazon Q. So I will put the link of the video below so that you can refer that and get a good understanding of how you can build applications on Amazon Q. So this is a significant move by Amazon. This Amazon Q would be evolving over a period of time. This is currently in preview mode, so a lot of evolution can be expected in the next few months. So moving on to the next announcements around global connectivity. Amazon has been working with global connectivity for the last couple of years. So through Project Kuiper. And Project Kuiper, a quick introduction is it's a network of approximately 3,000 low orbital satellites to ensure broadband connectivity across the rural areas of Earth. There are a couple of strategic advantages for AWS through Amazon Kuiper. A couple of them is the connectivity ensures a better disaster recovery for countries or remote areas where they want to back up the information or data in a war zone or in a natural calamity. A quicker disaster recovery plans can be developed. And then faster connectivity than regular internet, which means you can move data much faster. You can build sometimes real-time applications like telemedicine, which would improve lives in remote areas. So this would open up AWS for another platform where build real-time applications, remote areas, etc. And that wraps up our discussion for today. We'll be deep diving into some of these topics in the future. I tried my best to do the analysis on a 2.5-hour session, and want to hear your thoughts to see if I missed anything, or do you have a different perspective, or my perspective is wrong. I believe there is no right or wrong answers here. Please put your comments down, and in that way I can enrich the future sessions. Thank you everyone for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing for the latest update. Thank you. Thanks from Cloud Tech Insights.